Thank you all for joining us. We got a big group here, so I'll let you introduce yourselves. Why don't you just kind of say who you are, what credit union you're with, and then maybe why AI excites you.
Hi, my name is Joey Rudisill. I'm the Chief Information Officer at Central Willamette Credit Union, and I guess to answer your question, it's just the possibilities. It's just the mass change that we're embarking upon and what can be done that is yet unknown.
I'm Cliff Van Syok. I'm from Pennsylvania State Employees Credit Union as the VP of Technology and Operations. Here's the biggest thing. We think back from the days of having flip phones and MP3 players to actually become the iPhone. We're talking about that level of innovation and change for all of us, not just for our members, but also for our employees and our own personal lives. It's going to be amazing.
I'm Scott Maronic. I'm also from PSECU. I'm the Director of Data Analytics, and I'm excited about AI because I love change. You know, most people don't like change. I love change. I think we've been in a very stagnant place for a while when it comes to the platforms that we use and how we interact with technology. So I think AI is a really good opportunity to start moving the ball forward and updating how we do things today.
Hello, DeMoura from DCU. I'm the Innovations Manager at DCU. And AI, there are many possibilities. It's changed, but also it makes us a lot more effective, right? So how can we use the technology to improve efficiencies, operational efficiencies, personal efficiencies? How can we use the technology just really to bring more efficiencies to the credit union industry?
I'll take it. Yeah, so a lot of you talked about future possibilities. But it's also here now, and your session just showcased a few ways in which your credit unions are using or developing AI. I know we don't really have time to go through the specifics of each maybe, but why don't you talk about the use cases that you're trying to solve for?
Sure. Try to do it in a nutshell. So let's talk about unstructured data like your website data, and let's talk about structured data like your database data, and being able to combine those to perform analysis, both forms of data, but not only perform the analysis, but then also generate the language to speak about the analysis that was just performed. Pretty cool.
Scott can actually probably talk about this a little bit better, but one of the big focuses for us right now, how can we actually level the playing field? There are a lot of organizations that are bigger than us, and the skills that are required for us to run at full speed are now being normalized. That playing field is actually being opened up, and we're going to be able to compete at a much larger scale.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of echo that being at the same credit union, but I mean, you think about the massive organizations that have poured hundreds of millions of dollars into personalization. We can now compete on that playing field. It is making organizations of all sizes competitive with one another, and I think it's really, really going to make major changes in who actually is the leader, and it's going to depend on who capitalizes on this technology.
And for us, it's efficiency, right? As I mentioned, so the use case is to help employees find the right information quicker. So right now, the challenge is that credit unions mostly have all the knowledge base really decentralized, and it's hard to find that information. It translates into somewhat poor member experience, waiting for the person to find that information. So with generative AI, we are hoping that we can increase or lower the wait time and increase productivity and efficiencies from the staff.
So you are all kind of living in this world, and I'm sure talking to each other or other people about it. What do you think the wider credit union landscape is? Where are they at as far as looking at these technologies and the possibilities?
Yeah, I think that we're seeing people just all over the spectrum, to be honest. And that should be expected in a transformative technology and set of events like this. It's perfectly reasonable for people to fall both at the extremes of either end and then everywhere in between. And I think that that's where we are right now, and that will start to change over time as this just becomes more common in our conversations day to day.
I mean, Joey, I can't really say anything else to that because I think that is the exact answer. I mean, the most important thing at this point is it is about research, and it is about networking and understanding from all of your peers to actually find out where you are, what you could do, what you should be learning to be able to try to catch up at this point because it's moving so fast.
So for you two, what kind of excites you in the near future maybe about what's next?
Yeah, I think from the near future perspective, it's really about operational efficiency and personalization. So how efficient can we get as an organization? How can we embed this into our everyday processes? And I think every organization over the next couple of years is going to go through this kind of aha moment of, hey, we've been doing all these things manually for so many years, and now we have the opportunity to automate a massive portion of it. But also, like I said earlier, the personalization opportunities where you really get to understand your members, you really get to understand, how to communicate with those members at a very specific level. So,
Great. So for us, it's an implementation, right? So not using the technology. Technology by itself doesn't do anything alone, right? So getting the staff to understand and to use the technology properly is probably the biggest hurdle right now, right? So I heard this quote some time ago, and resonates with me, which is, AI is not going to take your job, but people that use and know how to use AI will. So that's the biggest piece, right? Helping employees to understand how to use it, how to get the right outcome or output of that solution. So that's what's coming next. And it's a crawl, right, movement until we start walking again, and the different use cases, what's coming next. But that's coming up.
Great. And I like too how we're a little less than a year into it, and I'm sure you guys have been looking at it mostly that whole time. You all still seem very interested and excited, and it's not getting dull at this point, it seems like.
It's an embarrassing sickness at this point. I heard Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, say just the other day that he thinks about one thing anymore, and this is an individual who has historically been responsible for startups that we all know, and his one thing that he thinks about anymore is AI. And I know Sam Altman, but I certainly understand that point of view.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to add, or anything you just want to let people know about the space?
I think I will. So I'll add that it's still in the early stages, right? In credit unions, the smaller credit unions, the mid-sized credit unions, or even the larger ones that are not still implementing anything, they're not necessarily missing the boat yet, right? It's still in the early development stages. It's okay to take time and do the research. And right now, you consider yourselves, if you're using AI, right, generative AI innovators, you will take another at least a year and a half until you start seeing massive adoption. So again, it's okay to do the job right and to start learning from it and learning from others. And that's why we're here.